And it says we are live. I'm here. You're beautiful. It's Thursday night, and that must mean it's time for GotBot Goes live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links, all of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, you can hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Tonight, we're going to talk about a number of Optimus Prime offerings up and coming. Some official, some not, some transform, some don't. We're going to talk a little bit about Newage. We're going to touch on some news from Matrix Workshop, from Fans Toys. We will talk a couple of updates that kind of came my way that I didn't address last week with the Legacy Evolution Armada Optimus Prime. And of course, we will discuss the impending Generation Selects Titan Guardian robot. That and trivia. Actually, we kind of ended up with two trivia questions by accident, sort of by accident this week. You'll see. And we will do this week's unboxing, which is a bit of a quirky one, a bit of a weird one, but I'm happy to have it all the same. So I'm just going to get things set up here. Hope you guys are having a tremendous week. Mine's been a bit rough. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad tomorrow's Friday. But, you know, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? I can remember kind of thinking to myself that I wasn't sure how I was going to find 2023. And so far, it's been a little bit rougher than I'd like for it to be. I ain't going to lie. Hey, Waspinator. Hey, Vector. Hey, Anthony. Shockwave Vision. Yeah, Shockwave Vision. Hey, Teen Toys. By the way, I mentioned this to Teen Toys earlier today, if not yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, go and check out on Teen Toys channel. If you have the Kingdom Megatron, he explains quite in depth how to remove the tail from the arm. It's quite the bit of surgery, but it's very interesting to see whether or not it is successful, for sure. Definitely worth the watch. I've been meaning to get around to that for a while. Hey, Maximal 10. Hey, Dragonfly. And if I didn't already say it, hey, Warren. Hey, Joel. So you guys, of course, are trickling in here. I'm just going to get my notes for tonight. Absolutely, Teen Toys, you deserve it, buddy. Hey, Big M. Okay, so let's start off right away with the biggest piece of news this week, both literally and probably figuratively, and that is the unveiling. Finally, I reported a long time ago that we were getting a Selects Titan. We speculated what it might be. We now know for sure and certain that it is going to be the Guardian robot, which of course is the like kind of white, blue, and gray repaint of Siege Omega Supreme. I mean, I said it when I reviewed the Siege Omega Supreme. It's a tremendous mold. It's a great Omega. There's no winners or losers when it comes to Omega Supreme, because Gabriel is great. The Fans Toys, Terminus Giganticus is great. The Wei Jiang one was great. This one from Hasbro, the Siege one, that was great. The Mech, what was it? Was it Mech Fans Toys? Big Dragon, that was great. The little one that's coming out now, the Little Legends one, that's great. Like, there's so many great offerings for him. This is a wonderful reuse of this mold. However, I do feel like it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So here in Canada, the price has jumped fairly significantly for what is essentially the exact same mold. The Omega was $229. This one is $299, and that's at GameStop. I don't know what it would be for Toys R Us, but I do know that that's a jump at GameStop when the Cybertron Metroplex was $269. So that's another $30 jump for a mold that is no new molding at all. He comes with Lunar Tread who, like, it's fine. It's just the countdown repainted. That said, all of that said, man, oh man, the Omega was great. He really was. I didn't get him or have him because I had the Wei Jiang one, but it really is good, solid, excellent articulation, nice alt mode. I have no reason to think that this one wouldn't be as good. But as I was saying, it'll be interesting to see how it goes because I feel like a lot of people are going to want to, by rights, army build this. But I mean, who can army build Titans? I feel like a lot of people by rights would probably want two, since in the War Dawn episode, there were two that were shown, although there were lots of them. It would be great to have. I'm not going to lie. It really, really would be great to have. I am for space and stuff. Like I'm tightened out. But I respect this, and I think that it's a logical reuse for sure. And if you can see your way clear, both space wise and I guess finances wise, I mean, there's no reason for me to not think that it wouldn't be everything as good as the Siege Omega, right? If you like the Siege Omega, you should like this. If you didn't like the Siege Omega, I mean, nothing here is different, so it's not going to change your mind. But I think it was a really well done, a really tremendous Titan, and I think that this reuse of it is pretty fantastic, honestly. We also saw images of the deluxe Earthspark Optimus Prime. He comes with one of the legs of Mandroid. I mean, it looks all right. I think the head sculpt is really good on it. Decent articulation, but I got a feeling that dude's going to have one hell of backpack. I feel like there's going to be a big chunk of truck cab on his back, and I don't know how compact or stuck off that's going to be. I really wish in the images that they'd shown that they would have shown him back on in robot mode. I really, really would have liked to see that. I think the truck looks all right. I think the robot looks all right from the front, but I would like to see it from around, right? I'm not in for it. I see no need for me to have another Optimus Prime in my collection. But if you are, cool, just be wary that I think there's going to be one heck of a backpack there. Speaking of Optimus Prime, Build-A-Buddy Optimus Prime is coming. Basically, you can assemble him as a truck or you can assemble him as a robot. And he comes with this like little, I'll call it drill and drill bit accessory that is used to put the screws and nuts on, I suppose, that hold this guy together with not one, but two, that's right, two pre-installed AA batteries. How often do you get batteries actually included? I don't know if I want an Optimus that I need to use a drill to put together and take apart. The robot, the truck mode looks all right. The robot mode is pretty ugly brick with pretty just flat arms. I wasn't that impressed with it, to be honest with you. Let's see if we can get the other Optimus Primes out of the way and kind of move on then from Optimus Prime. Where was the other one? Iron Warrior. Let's talk about Iron Warrior for a second. So Iron Warrior is putting out a rendition of Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. And by the way, the review for this guy is going to be up and coming sometime in the next couple of weeks. This is the first edition Optimus that we got from our buddy Razor Bear. So, okay, so Iron Warrior is putting out their Prime Optimus Prime. He's going to stand at 29 centimeters, which is about 11.5 inches. He is replacing their earlier version that was codenamed Pioneer. And it was a bit smaller. This one is larger. He's going to have die cast. He's going to have LEDs in the eyes. He's going to have 2 arm blades. He's going to have 2. Let's see if I can show this now. What the hole there? 2 blasters. He's going to have multiple hands. He's going to have 2 heads, one with the faceplate and one without the faceplate. He does not transform. It's non-transforming, but there's tons of paint on it too. It is arguably a perfect robot mode Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime. Now you might say, well, how soon is this coming out? Well, they've been working on this. Just putting him down. They've been working on this for quite a while. When they started off with Pioneer, actually, I'll do a step in between that. What we saw was a full color sample. We saw the grayscale of this exact same Optimus Prime. He also comes with 2 different color Star Sabers, by the way, a clear one and a blue one. We saw the grayscale of this exact Optimus Prime back in September of 2022, a few months ago. But their original Optimus Prime, Pioneer, was unveiled, get this, December the 27th of 2018. Now, it looks like they have made leaps and bounds with actually getting this product. It looks to be complete, but it is not the same one from 2018. It is bigger and it has more to it. I don't know of a price at this point, but what I can tell you is that if you're in for Transformers Prime and you're in for a version of Optimus Prime that really captures the robot mode, then this might be the way to go. Bob Forward, he's going to be at TFCon LA next weekend. That's next weekend. That all of those panels and all that stuff in LA, that's next weekend. Clackies, I think that's how you say it. They make keyboard keycaps, basically, and they unveiled 5. You can buy a set of 3, and you get to choose 3 out of the 5 for $99.99 US. Seems kind of pricey for little caps to go on your keyboard. Or you can get all 5 for $149.99 US. Who's in it? Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, and they're molded quite nice. Like if you want to put Starscream on a button and press his face when you go to press that button, I mean, you could do it, right? And then on the Autobot side of things, you get Bumblebee, big shock, and you guessed it, Optimus Prime. Very Optimus Prime heavy, very Optimus Prime heavy batch of news tonight, I suppose. And that brings us, interestingly, to finally the Armada Optimus Prime. So I talked fairly extensively last week, and I said, if you are a fan of Armada, get this. You owe it to yourself to get this because you really should support said product if you want more Armada or Unicron Trilogy stuff for that matter. Now, just a couple of added notes that I saw in new images and whatnot. So first, a lot of people were concerned and said, oh, I bet because of his ability now to be more articulated with the lower body, he's not going to be able to do his base mode. Indeed, he can do his base mode, or at least a version thereof. And I think it looks very convincing. I think it looks like his base mode. He can stand up at the turret and stuff. Like I think it works out just fine for his base mode. Is it perfect? Arguably, maybe not, but I think it's pretty darn close and pretty darn good. We also learned that really the Voyager-sized Optimus version, like the lower part of that body, much like the original release, splits. Now, that's great, but for that Voyager robot to work, and Input mentioned it, I think yesterday, for that Voyager version to work, that cab robot to work, you have to make sure that the 2 legs stay together. If that's not toleranced and they come apart and his lower body is always flimsy and floppy and falling apart, that's going to absolutely kill this release. That needs to be absolutely perfect. He needs to be solid in that robot mode and solid in his super mode. He has to be. I mean, look back at the Constructicons and Bone Crusher and how his pelvis always comes apart. It's a nuisance. Some people, though not mine, thankfully, but some people had the same complaint with the Titans Return Astro Train and his kind of pelvis coming apart. They cannot allow that to happen with this Optimus. He has to stay together there for this to be a success. Also, I noticed that he was shorter. He comes up to about the upper chest, shoulder of Jetfire and Menasor, which I find interesting because they are both Commander class offerings. So this is a shorter Commander class, but I gotta believe that the density is in the plastic. I gotta believe that this is one of those cases where, yes, he's shorter, but the mass will still be there, much like the leader class Siege and Earthrise Ultra Magnus, right? He's shorter than the Combiner Wars, but he has more mass because the plastic is more dense. I feel like that's going to be the case with this Optimus as well. He also has articulated fingers, which is nice, and he does have a dedicated 5mm port in his hand to hold his blaster and stuff. So I think all of that is good. Honestly. Oh, and in truck mode, his smokestacks can take blast effects. So he is blast effects compatible. He looks great in both modes. He's fully articulated. He can do the bass. I think, like, it's not for me because I'm not an Armada guy. But man, oh man, if you are a Unicron Trilogy fan, an Armada fan, man, you got to be absolutely salivating over this. You have to be excited about it, right? Like, it's such a weird feeling because I see all this and I know it's not for me, but I find myself getting excited for everybody else. And it's a very weird feeling, but it's very rewarding too, because I know I don't have to have a dog in the fight. And man, I can just get caught up in the whirlwind of excitement for everybody else. And I hope if it is for you, that you're absolutely excited about it, because I think it is the update that Armada fans have been waiting for, and the update that Armada fans deserve from a long, long time ago. Honestly, I'm going to check in with you guys, and then we're going to get into some of the other news, including, though I didn't really mention this anywhere else, but including a Legend scale G1 Metroplex release, possibly. Maybe it might even be able to work with something bigger than Legends. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's check in with you guys here first and see who is saying what. Okay, where did I leave off here? Around right here. Hey, Mr. Survive fan. Hey, Grimlock Gone. B, buddy, we haven't done trivia yet, dude. Hope the Guardian doesn't yellow. Yeah, that's the other concern. I mean, if he yellows, I mean, a Titan yellowing. We saw it with some of the panels on the Cybertron Metroplex on the thighs. Certainly on, I think, was the back of the thigh. I haven't heard a lot of issues with that, luckily, but it has happened to at least a couple of people, and that's a concern. I get you. Metroplex legacy price went down a lot here in Europe. Yeah, I mean, it didn't here. Nothing goes down in Canada. We don't get prices dropping. Like, that's not really a thing that happens here. Saw for 139 euros. I don't know if that's cheap or not, but it sounds fairly cheap for him. Working on adding Crasher Night Racer to your world. Okay. Should go down here a bit. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Bill. Guardian Robot repaint reveal of Omega was something to be expected. Yeah, I mean, you know, we debated what it was, and somebody way back when I first announced that there was a Selects Titan suggested that I would be a Guardian, and I didn't think of it at the time, but you know, it made perfect sense. Yeah, it made 100% perfect sense. Hey, Jay. Got a studio series Shockwave coming. Okay, well, enjoy. Hey, NY Hunter. Ken, right? It's Ken, right? Doing pretty good, I guess, man. You know what? Honestly, Thursday night here with you guys, one of the best parts of the week, buddy. Even though I'd like to have the Cybertron Metroplex, just as an alternate universe style of Metroplex, 350 is stupid pricing. It is stupid pricing. I'd love to review it. I don't want that Metroplex, but I'd love to review it. If we go down here a bit. Yeah, we never get batteries anymore, right? By the way, I saw a pic of that prototype Legends class Metroplex. Don't know if it's a real thing coming or not. Well, we're going to talk about that in a bit. A brick with arms, you mean 80s Robot Optimus? See, Ash, that wasn't me. In the 80s, I still wanted their arms to move. This is why I like Generations, because it gives me what I wanted when I was 5 and 6. I never liked that they were bricks. I always hated it. Earthrise is my definitive Optimus Prime. Same with me, Jay. Earthrise is my definitive Optimus too. I found the original G1 Metroplex with all its parts for a good price. I used to have it as a kid, and I'm happy with him. That's fair, man. Like, G1 Metroplex was great, Joel. Classics Optimus Prime is perfect. And you know what? Classics Optimus Prime is good too. Especially if you got, there was a third-party trailer that was really awesome for that. Let's see. That Optimus transforms similar to the SSO5. Kinda. Sorta. I wonder if they'll do a battle damage version like in the first 2 or 3 episodes of Beast Hunters before he got the new form. I don't know. Love Prime, but I'm primed out. Yeah, I hear you. Let's see. As I go down here a bit, if I'm skipping something, guys, I apologize. I'm trying to stay on track. That's all. SS38 is my favorite of all the Optimus Primes I own, says Jay. I don't know the mold. I saw it a few times, but I mean, I didn't need another Optimus. I've only ever heard good things about it, though, so I have no reason to doubt that it's spectacular. Although I've heard spectacular before and gotten stuff and been really disappointed in it, but what do I know, right? I have the original and premium finish. Armada Prime review up next week. I mean, probably. They'll have to release the Armada Jetfire for Prime to merge with. They don't have to do anything. Like, people are so jumping the gun. First things first. It's cool that he's backwards compatible with Overload. He can use the original Overload. Why more things aren't backwards compatible, I don't know. That's such a lost opportunity. I mean, some stuff has mini-con ports, but some stuff like that should have mini-con ports doesn't. It's so weird. You say that about Jetfire, and I suppose the same argument could be levied for Overload joining with that Optimus. I would say this. Don't put the cart before the horse. You're going to have to see how this Optimus sells first. If this crash lands like the Galaxy Force Cybertron Optimus did, because that crash landed. It came out, and I told people then, if you want more Unicron Trilogy, you better support that Galaxy Force Optimus. And people were like, oh, I hate this. It's not as good as the original, blah, 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 blah. Well, they didn't do more Cybertron stuff, and that's why, because it didn't sell well. This needs to sell well. If you honestly want to have like an Armada Jetfire or an Overload, you better buy this Optimus, and you better run out and do it before it goes on sale, because they're only going to do it if they can make the money. Hasbro's in a very dangerous spot where they've lost a lot of company value. They've had not one, but 2 quarters now where their profits have been way down. They need to start turning a corner before the investors get real angry real fast. And I'm telling you now, if you as a fan want that corner and that savior to be Unicron Trilogy, you better support it. But I wouldn't go putting carts before horses yet, baby. People are saying they got to do this, they got to do that. Only if it sells. Otherwise, what's the point, right? If I support Hasbro, it'll only be my core figures for Shine, and that's fine. Like, I get not supporting the company. I'm just saying, if this is what you want from the company, you're gonna have to support the product. They don't care about like, oh, well, we better have a Jetfire to go with it. They don't care about that. They are ruled by the accounting department, and the accounting department only cares about this. That's all they care about. The money, right? The dollars and cents. If they're not making the dollars, then they're going to kibosh and nix going forward with it. So it is what it is, right? I hope you get it. I hope you get that Jetfire. I hope you get that Overload. I hope you're happy. But man, it all starts with this Armada Optimus. And to a lesser degree, I would say the Starscream. You really should buy that. And again, some people have said, oh, I'm not buying that Starscream. Well, then stop complaining when they don't do more Armada stuff. Because I'm going to tell you now, I could put my hand right now on about 5 of those Starscreams. You know how many Legacy Blasters I can put my hand on? 0, because they got bought. They got bought up. The Armada fans, man, you got to come out in droves. You got to come out and be as strong of fans, if not stronger, than G1 fans. If you want more Armada stuff. If you want that to be the future, you got to be bigger fans than G1 fans. They have been doing good with the Commander class figures. I agree with you, Jay. They have, and I think this one's going to be a home run. Agree this Armada Optimus Prime has to be good. I'm not getting it, but at face value, it looks good. I agree, it does. I really do. As I say all this about supporting it, I think that this is a solid offering to support, at least based on everything we've seen. It seems like it would be a solid offering, right? Cybertron was your version of the three shows that you grew up with. Yeah, see, I was like almost 30 when that stuff came on, right? I got the Hot Shot. I liked it. Just should have come with the Minicon. A lot of people said he should have come with Jolt. I mean, I didn't get the Hot Shot because I'm not a Unicron trilogy guy. But again, if you did and you're into it, I hope you're happy with this Hot Shot. I think his arms are infinitely better than the original. The legs are kind of a hot mess, but if they're functional, you know, if they aren't making the dollars, they ain't gonna make sense. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I want Cybertron Hotshot in Velocitron set. We got Cybertron Hotshot. It's done. It came out in selects. I want Legacy Armada Optimus Prime for birthday. Okay, well, I don't know when your birthday is, but good luck with that. Hotshot is good, but the legs could have been done better. And Manitoba says, what? Go be me an updated and better version of Thunder Blast, and even I will support the Unicron trilogy. I don't remember. I vaguely remember Thunder Blast. Was she Thunder Blast the one that turned into the boat and had like her whole boat on her back? Is that her? Am I thinking about the right character? Will there even be a Velocitron Wave 3? I mean, not that I've heard. I'm staying put to hear about the Legends class Metroplex. Then I might as well do Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars for mine in April. You always do Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. That's your thing, man. Your birthday is July. Well, you know what? You might get it in July. That seems about the right time for a Commander to come out. Yeah, Jay loves Hot Wheels. As a matter of fact, I think I've said that before. You know who would love this? Jay. Jay would love this. Okay, so going on with the rest of the news, we saw some more images of Yukikaze, which is one of the train bots, the latest one for the train bots, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's not much to say. A lot of clear plastic. He seems a little wider than some of the other ones. He comes with rails and a stand. He can store Raiden's head. Interestingly, Raiden's head is a parts forming piece, kind of like with the Unique Toys Predaking, where the head is its own separate piece that you notch in, slot in. For something that's, you know, in the masterpiece line, that by the time you're done, you're going to be paying I don't know, $1,000 or whatever for. I don't know, parts forming head seems lazy to me, I guess. I don't know. Like, I've wanted a Raiden for a long time, but I'm glad I didn't go in on this, because the more I see it, the more I'm like, I don't think it's the Raiden for me. Magic Square, they showed off their latest Dinobot, that being Slag or Slug if you prefer. It looks infinitely better than the core class version that just came out, and it has elbows. It doesn't combine, but it looks like the G1 character, as it should. Honestly, it really kind of, now we only saw grayscale in both modes, but it really kind of looks like the 86 scaled down, right? A lot of similarities to the 86 scaled down. Again, if it was me and I was in for Legends class offerings and wanted Dinobots, I would probably go with these from Magic Square, if not the Newage ones. One of those two sets, or maybe a hodgepodge of both. I don't know. I wouldn't be going for the Legacy Evolution ones. They wouldn't, they're just, no, they wouldn't be for me. That's all. Just wouldn't be for me. And I know that they're popular with some people, just not for me. Matrix Workshop showed off, I guess, I can't even say showed off. They're out. People got them. There's reviews up on them of their Target Masters that go with Blur, Cup, and Hot Rod. They seem to make decent blasters. I'm not sure if they transform or if they come apart and go back together in a different way to become the robot. They seem fairly static as robots with little to no articulation. I mean, they're nice display pieces, but for Target Masters, there's better 3D printed ones out there. There's even, I think, the Siege Battle Masters are better than these, but that's just me. You do you. Fans Toys. Really, we got some new pictures and a better look at their version of Cliff Jumper named Parkour. I mean, I'm not a Fans Toys guy. We all know this. I'm not a huge fan of the company based on my limited experience with it. I didn't enjoy it. But I'll say this, their version of Cliff Jumper obliterates and destroys what Takara is doing. And I mean obliterates and destroys. Like the Takara one is hot garbage next to this. It looks like it jumped off the screen. The articulation seems insane. And they captured the kind of, I don't want to say super deformed, but the unique look of the penny racer version of the alt mode. Like in vehicle mode, it looks like he came off the screen. In robot mode, it looks like he came off the screen. Being Fans Toys, I have no doubt that the transformation is idiotically bonkers. I can't get through, like, even when I watch reviews, I can't get through a Fans Toys transformation. Like, I have to go to the end. I don't want to be there a half hour watching a Fans Toys transformation. It's different if it's limited steps and you can actually show like this peg goes here and this and that. But there's so much that goes on. I find I get lost partway through and I'm like, you know what? I can't follow what's going on here anymore. I'm just going to go to the end because I can't follow the transformation. It's that over-engineered. But I can't argue that the end result of vehicle mode and robot mode is the best looking cliff jumper, certainly for the Masterpiece line that I've ever seen. Speaking of Matrix Workshop, we also saw a kit for Tarn. It looks like it gives him a rifle that looks a lot like Cynicus. Is that his name? The one that turns into the sniper rifle. That guy. Whatever his name is, it looks like him in that mode being used by Tarn, except it doesn't transform. We also saw a kit for Lio Convoy that gives him a few blasters and stuff that I guess is cool, but I mean, the 4 blasters he comes with, you could just paint up as easily. The big thing about Lio Convoy is that he comes with a beautiful sword with a green blade. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous sword. Totally support that. Actually, those 2 kits from Matrix Workshop, even if I'm not blown away by the Target Masters. Got all of that done. What do we have left over here? Nothing over there. You know what? I'm going to do the first trivia question. And then we are going to do the rest of the news and the other trivia question. We're going to do it a bit different tonight, a little bit different. And then we'll get to the unboxing, of course. So, the first trivia question. What science fiction television show did both the voice actor for Arachnid, Gina Torres, and the voice actor for Transformers Prime Breakdown, Adam Baldwin? What other sci-fi show were both of them in before Transformers Prime? Were they in A, Babylon 5 together? Were they in B, Firefly? Were they in C, Star Trek Enterprise? Or were they in D, Supernatural? Where did the voice actors for Arachnid and Transformers Prime Breakdown work together before? Was it A, Babylon 5, B, Firefly, C, Star Trek Enterprise, or D, Supernatural? I'm going to check in with you guys, and then we'll get down to the answers there in just a moment. Let's go up here a little bit. Where did I leave off? Round right here. Thunderblast is annoying in my book, respectfully. I don't know Thunderblast, so got 2 old ones planned. Okay, that's what I hear. Sorry for the typos. Small keyboard on the phone. I tear that. I hate typing on a phone. Have you guys ever seen my typos? They're famous. I was going to get Hot Shot on Amazon. Unfortunately, my debit card didn't work. Oh, that's rough. We never got Wave 2 of Velocitron here. Never seen Shadowstrip or Crasher here. Wow. Now, we got them once in October. I thought they were going to be more plentiful, but they've never been restocked, at least not at this point. Yukikaze translate to Snowwind. Okay, weird. I got Crasher for Christmas. I like Crasher. She's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm okay with her. I was hesitant on adding her to my Legacy Showcase, but I couldn't find anyone else, so I'll add Heatwave in part 2. Oh, okay. I have a Galaxy Force, Inch Up, Dirt Boss, and the Legacy Override. Okay. The MPG trains turn out to be garbage. I don't think that they're masterpiece level. I mean, I don't think that that's the right marketing for them personally, but what do I know? For the next commander, I'd like RID 2000 Rail Racer. Yeah, that'd be great. On a side note, anyone else disappointed with the RID 2000 tow line? Well, you know what? Since we're here, let's talk about tow line. So tow line was announced last week, and I said, what an interesting alt mode, what an interesting robot mode. And then this week we saw tow line unveiled, and it's just Scrap Hook repainted with a new head. And I was like, huh, that's pretty disappointing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that there's something beautiful about the recolor, and I think that they recolored that mold the best they could to make a tow line or a mystery machine, because it's kind of the colors of the mystery machine too. I see the logic of it. Tow line turns into a tow truck, and so does Scrap Hook turns into a tow truck. I think it's one of those things where I'm like, this is like the early days of Generations when we would get something and say, you know what? It's kind of like that G1 character. It's a little shoehorned in there, a little stylized, but you know what? I see what they did there. You know, Classics Mirage, excellent, but didn't look like he jumped off the TV screen. Same with the Lambo brothers. Like, I love the Classics Sideswipe, but again, it's not that Countach, right? Um, I I don't know what's another weird example like that. Even Classics Optimus, it's tremendous. It's a tremendous Optimus, ideal in a lot of people's eyes. But again, he doesn't look like he came off the screen. He is a bit stylized, right? Well, I feel like this is the same thing. Like, we don't have much in the way of updates to anybody or anything from RID 2001, though I think it's overlooked and I think it deserves it. Sir, update that Megatron, man, or just re-release it because he was splendid. The one that turns like 10, 11 things. I think it's a nice effort with tow line. I saw it and I was a bit disappointed because I said, it's just Scrap Hook with a new head. But the more I stop and think about it and kind of cogitate on it and think about it, the more I think, you know what? It's a logical mold reuse. You got the mold. We all know that they like to do mold reuses. They had that one for Scrap Hook. They probably said, what are we going to reuse this as? And somebody said, well, what other tow trucks are there? And somebody probably said, like, Hoist? No, we did Hoist. Lift Ticket? No, we did Lift Ticket. So we said, what if we went outside of G1? And what if we went outside of Diaclone? And started thinking, and somebody said, tow line. And so I was like, oof, tow line. Yeah, let's make them green and blue and gaudy and beautiful. And boom, that's what they did, right? So I don't hate it, but I was hoping that it was going to be something a bit different than what it was. So when you say disappointed there, Teen Toys, like, I get it. I get it. I think it's a logical reuse, but I also understand the disappointment. The trains are way overpriced. I agree with Jay. Came up with English names for the train bots from Headmasters, Railway, Rail Spike, Caboose, Trainwreck, Locomotive, Coach, and Freight Car. Yeah, well, I'd like to know what names they would actually use. If they, like, I doubt that they would just translate the names. I think they would come up with their own if they ever done anything with them outside of Japan. Yours are as good as any. Why not? Why not go with yours, right? I am hoping for a KO of the Evolution Dinobots. Not for me, for someone else. You know, I made a funny moment in my grocery store. I compared the prices of pots to the current Transformers prices. Okay. All we had to do was follow the darn train, CJ. I don't know what that is, but okay, or why you're yelling it, but whatever. I showed Dennis a weird China combiner that's about 200-ish a limb. Yeah, it was huge. I don't know what it is, but like the arm is definitely a Voyager, if not a leader, and that's an arm. I can only imagine how big this thing will be in the end. I would assume Titan size. My first Transformers buys of 2023 are Earthspark Deluxe Bumblebee, Warrior Class Optimus Prime, and Studio Series B Movie RC. Well, you collect what you love, I guess. Not, I'm not in third party at all. I can't stand how complex the conversions are. Depends on the third party. I mean, I don't have a lot at all, but I got a couple. Like my Wei Xiang Ultima Guard, I love, and he's not really complex. The APC Toys Arachnid, she's not really complex, but I get you. A lot of times they are complex. I understand that. Really, they're doing the ads. It must be a test thing that they're doing. I gotta have a look before I go on next week and see if there's a, what do you call it, like a choice or something that's ticked on that should be ticked off or something. That must be a new like experiment that they're doing or something. Yeah, a few people saying that. I gotta look. There must be a I don't know. I must be part of a test group or something. There must be a setting. That's the word I'm looking for. There must be a setting I gotta turn off or something. That's so weird. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. I want Fans Toys Jazz, but the transformation is insane. Yes, it is. If you've seen what? If you've seen ad, you're a paying subscriber. Trust me. What? Okay. No, I'm not a paying subscriber. I'm streaming this to the TV. So far today, no ads and just the streams. Weird. When it comes to Transformers Bumblebee toys, I always have the worst luck because some Bumblebee toys I tend to break during transformation. I get it, because Bumblebees are generally far over-engineered for being tiny deluxes. Wildly over-engineered. I don't think they usually do very good Bumblebees. The truck one, the Jeep. I like the Jeep. The Jeep was great. Let's see. Hey, Shansi. A, B, Q says input. Q, C input with the Q. B, C. Oh, hold on. I got to go back up here. B, C, D, D, A. Greetings, A, B. B, Firefly says Anthony. D, C. Oh, it's all over the map, guys. The answer is, in fact, yes, B, Firefly. And as a matter of fact, they were 2 of the 9 that were a part of that cast, a cast that was led by Nathan Fillion. And also a part of that same cast was the voice of Earthspark Optimus Prime himself, Alan Tudyk. I have no idea if I'm saying his name right. But yeah, so a lot of Transformers connections in Firefly. Who knew? Who knew? But that's only our first of... Can I get rid of this now? Yeah, I can get rid of that sheet now. That's only the first of 2 trivia questions. Let's go on with the news, and I'll check in with you guys here again in a moment. Nothing there. There's not a lot of news left, actually. We already talked about the train bots. 80s and 90s designer Andy Cousins will be at TF Nation 2023. By the way, I mentioned last week that I didn't know who Jim Sorensen was, and then I thought about it after, and I went and I looked, and I was like, duh, yeah, I know who Jim is. It just, I don't know. It escaped me last week for whatever reason. I don't know why. Buzzworthy Bumblebee, one-step Starscream. It's like the Evergreen design. It's just a one-step changer. So I don't know if you're into that. I guess we already talked about Tow Line, NPM 12 Nemesis Prime. This is Nemesis Prime is based on the Bumblebee Optimus Prime. Of course, came out as NPM 12. It's the black and teal repaint of Nemesis Prime that we always get with an Optimus. Really, I don't like how they put the teal up on like the side of his head on his ear antennas, I guess we'll call it. Just make the head black. If I had that, I would have to paint the head totally black on that. I wasn't a fan of that particular choice. Otherwise, the truck looks great, and the robot from, the face and the neck down looks good, right? So it is what it is. Newage showed off their battle damaged Grimlock. Again, much like I said with Magic Square earlier, this Grimlock is in a legend scale. They've done this Grimlock a bunch of times. They've done the original, they've done the Shattered Glass coloration, they've done the blue G2 version, they've done the clear version, and they've done the cartoon accurate version, and now they're doing a battle damaged version. Newage, milking the Grimlock for all he's worth. Rise of the Beast, Smash Changer Primal. We saw the Gorilla mode. I didn't think it looked that great. I thought the face looked good, but like when you look at the Gorilla of this Smash Changer, you can obviously see Optimus Primal's robot mode head like in his tummy, like it's just hanging out there upside down. I didn't like it. We also saw that Nerf blaster thing. That's Optimus Prime. That's such garbage, such utter garbage. The gun mode looks awful, 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 and the robot mode looks even worse. It is one of the absolute worst looking Optimus Primes I've ever had the displeasure of having to put my eyes on. I think it looks just terrible. Just terrible with zero redeeming qualities to it. That's the way I see it, folks. Now, that brings us to the last piece of news, which is the apparent Legend Scale Metroplex. Now, this is apparently going to be done by KU Model, KAIYU Model, and it is the production number is Y-C001. Now, what we've seen seems to be renders only, but it looks very G1 accurate. The head sculpt looks great. I would be very intrigued to see the alt modes. However, here's the interesting part with it. Legend scale, right? It will stand apparently 45 centimeters. And you might say, well, how big is 45 centimeters? 45 centimeters is actually 17.72. So say 17 and a quarter inches. You might say, how big is 17 and a quarter inches? I'm glad you asked. This Metroplex would basically be about the size, assuming it happens, of 01 Studio Cell in robot mode. About the same size as Cell, which is still a hefty, substantial robot. Hefty and substantial enough that if you didn't get the Generations Metroplex and you don't want to pay $600 or whatever for it now, or you want something a little more G1, this might be worth a serious consideration depending on what the price is. It's not some obnoxious, idiotic, foolish, I'll say, 4-foot tall thing, because I'm sorry, 4 feet is foolish. That's opulence to a degree of insanity. This is somewhat practical. And for people that don't have that G1 Metroplex, this might fill the bill. I would venture to say it is a bit bigger. Somebody might be able to correct me on this. I want to say it's a bit bigger than the Make Toys version that came out some years ago. And that thing was touted as being really excellent. I am very excited to kind of follow the KU model iteration of Metroplex. I think that we got some interesting things coming up there if it holds true. We will see, though. I'm going to do the other trivia question and then check in with the rest of the news. Are you ready for trivia question number 2? We're going to do the rest of the news. Not the news. I'm going to do trivia question 2. I'm going to check in with you guys here, and then we're going to do the unboxing and get out of here. Trivia question number 2. What was Shockwave originally going to be called in G1 in the very first episode in early storyboards? What was going to be Shockwave's original name? Was he going to be A, Flashbeam? Was he going to be B, Galactic Magnus? Was he going to be C, Shocker? Or was he going to be D, Space Blast? Was he going to be A, Flashbeam, B, Galactic Magnus? I love that name. C, Shocker, or D, Space Blast? What was going to be Shockwave's original name? You guys put in your picks. I'm going to read down through the comments until we get there. Don't watch any of those shows, to be honest. Well, if you don't watch them, then you wouldn't know the answer, which of course was Firefly, right? D. Only because you rubbed your nose like it was a hint. Wasn't D. If I rubbed my nose, it was itchy. I like Babylon 5. It gets a lot of hate, but I like Babylon 5. Live Evil says Firefly. Joel, I always say C and mostly wrong. I watched Firefly. There you go. Baldwin was in that. No, that's Alec Baldwin, who's in serious trouble for what happened on the set of Rust, which he shouldn't be. Alec Baldwin had nothing to do with that. It was just sad. It was just a sad, terrible, terrible accident. I found out Adam. What? I found out Adam as fun from Jackie Chan Adventures. Okay. Jackie Chan had a show. I want tow line so I can mix them up with scrap hook. That's for. Didn't you say, Jay, you were going to like army build tow line? The new one looks nothing like the old toy. No, it doesn't. The new one looks nothing like the old one. You're right. The Legacy tow line is Scooby-Doo meets Mad Max. It is. You're right. Reptar. Let's see. Take the Legacy ratchet, put it in tow line's colors, and paint it as Mystery Machine. I mean, they could. Tow line's both Zoinks and Jinkies, man. Yeah, he is. You're right. Jinkies, we have a mystery on our hands, right? Hey, Tony. I saw a prototype sword of the next crossover figure. The Energon, the sword of Omens, is possibly a Transformers Thunder Tank. Okay. I didn't see anything like that, so I can't comment on it. Hope we at least get a new mold of RID 2001 Optimus. See, I don't need another Optimus, but give me that Megatron. I'll find someone for him to be, right? I'll find someone for him to be. Not Megatron, but I'll find someone for him to be. But you know, I mean, if you're gonna do Megatron, you gotta do Optimus. That although the original was splendid. You'd have to do a heck of an update to beat the original because it was really good. The Wrecker Hook colors are even crazier. See, I don't find the Wrecker Hook colors crazier. I like them. I think the Wrecker Hook colors look cool. What was the answer to the other one? Firefly. Machine Wars Hoist or Hubcap, as well as Robot Masters Wrecker Hook, maybe Rescue Bots Hoist. With that Medics, maybe. Yeah, I don't really speculate. You guys do a lot more of that than I do. I wait until the announcements come and I get product numbers, and then I tell you guys, and you guys do the speculating. Third party can be fun, like that Grimlock I gave Dennis. Actually, yeah, that Grimlock's pretty good. He's only little, but he was a hoot. He was a hoot to put together too. Older third party companies are better to me. Agreed. Everything was better in the past, though. Yeah, it was YouTube's problem. I'll have to have a look at the settings next time or something. Oh, Snell's got the studio cell finally. He's splendid. He's so good. Old Fans Toys, when they were working with the Chug design aesthetic, it was great. I've never been into Fans Toys, personally. I mean, to each their own, of course, but it's never appealed to me. Hold on. Why can't we get Space Minivan Wheeljack to finish? I'm with Jay. There was a time I would have said we're not getting that Wheeljack, but my God, we've had the Seekers, we've had Bumblebee, we've had Jazz. The only one missing really is Wheeljack. Like, come on, you got to do a Wheeljack, right? Appreciate Sovereign Knight. You know we need Gears and Swerve before Gears blows a gasket. I mean, I have a Gears and Swerve. I don't need them. I mean, milking things dry can be good or bad, depending on the third party. Grimlock, probably so great that it deserved all those repaints. Probably. What's the price for the Metroplex? As I'm not paying. Oh, there is no price yet. This is very early. We'll see, Snells, if it actually comes up, but it's something to keep an eye on. KAIYU. I'm going to tell you again so you can actually look it up yourself and keep an eye on it if you guys want. KAIYU model Y-C001. That's their Legend Scale Metroplex. So if you want to look it up for yourself, that's what you're searching, basically, right? Let's see. We're back down here to the answers. A, C, B, D with a question mark. Shocker, C, C, D, B. And the answer, my friends, is actually A. They were going to call him Flash Beam. That was going to be his name, Flash Beam. Ain't we glad they didn't do that? I know I am. And that's it for the news. That's it for the news and the notes. By the way, you may have noticed that when I have reviewed some of the Shattered Glass offerings, and the Soundwave will actually come on Tuesday. I'm going to tell you now, and I'm sad to say this, I have a breakage. I have a breakage issue that happened with him. Real sad to say. Luckily, it's not a big deal, but it did happen. You may notice that I've never looked at the comics there because much like I did with the Shattered Glass 1 to 5, Shattered Glass 2, 1 to 5, I'm going to overview as one review. I didn't like the original 5-part series for a number of reasons. It made a number of it was a number of odd choices that were made. I'm only 2 into the next 5-part series, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm only gonna say this once. I'm only gonna say it now. You guys all know that I'm not an IDW fan, not a fan of the company. Not to say they don't have talented people, but there's something off with either the writing or the editing or both. There's something off. But I can honestly say that Shattered Glass 2 issue 2 is the single best comic I've ever read from IDW ever. Any of it. It is the single smoothest, most logical comic storytelling, beginning, middle, boom, and everything connects together that I've ever read from that company. Go figure. They lose the license and they actually make something worth reading. I don't know if the whole 5-part series will be like it, but I know that episode or issue 2 is. Take that for what you will. Galactic Magnus, so good, right? I didn't believe that Plex to be real at first. It kind of looks like the Generation Metroplex. Oh, no, God, no, it doesn't look like the Generations. From the chest and the shoulders and the head maybe, but not the torso, not the lower body at all. Shockmaster. Shockmaster. Oh, poor Tugboat. Having to wear that glittery stormtrooper helmet. And he just fell all over the place. You doofus. Poor Shockmaster. If you don't know wrestling and WCW, then you don't know what we're talking about. But if you heard me say stormtrooper helmet, glittery stormtrooper helmet, do yourself a favor. Look up Shockmaster. And you'll see it. It was just awful. His debut was just terrible. Let's see. Gonna army build them both. Oh, army build them both. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I mean that's up to you, I guess. What is going? Who's going to army build the Guardian robot? I ordered 6. Are you out of your mind? Where do you get this kind of money? Can I have some of your money? Because that's insane. I wouldn't have the space for that. Like I wouldn't. It would be impossible to have the space for it. I don't have any space for any more Titans. I'm done. I'm tightened out. Army build tow line. I don't army build any of this. It's all too expensive to army build. Tow line's gonna be $40 a pop here. Like 3 of him would be $120. No. But Jay always manages to find everything like on sale, cheap as dirt and stuff. So Guardian Omega is $199.99. The New Age one is $350. The New Age one is priced idiotically though, right? Like That's so foolish. So foolish. I didn't order 6. I didn't order any. If you did, though, I'd still like to have some. If you got some money, like I like money. No, I'm just joking. But like I bet you there will be people out there though who will order like 6, and you know what? Then they're gonna say, "Oh, the poorest can't have it," and blah blah blah. It's not that. I've talked about value for money before, man. You know, here they're 300 a pop. So I mean, 3 times 6 is 18. 300 times 6 would be $1,800 on 6 of the same robot. Like that would be insane. Um, just saying. Great mold, wonderful mold, but I'll be interested to see how it sells. I transformed X Transbots Boost and Hatch once and never touched them again. I've heard that both of those are rough transformations. See the new Legends Omega Supreme going for 250. Can't imagine what the Metroplex is going for. Yeah, but I think the Omega is smaller though. I don't think the Omega stands like almost 18 inches in height. So that's why I'm saying it's interesting, right? Yeah, 350 is nuts. Hey, Slow DK. Bought the Infinite Transformation Dinobot. Sorry, KO Dinobot. Hope he is as good as the. I know somebody who has that Infinite Transformation KO of Dinobot, and he swears by it. He says it's great. So actually, I'll tell you who it is. It's our buddy Justin from 3D Corner. You've heard me talk about him often. He has him. I'd like to review him at some point, maybe this summer. But I've heard only good things about it, man. If it's the one I'm talking about. IDW bot designs are his favorite. Blue Omega here is 210 euros. The tow line, what? Tow line nation shall take down Russia, what? And become the superior group? Okay. Guardian Omega is 199 there. Yeah, that's right. Is anyone else seeing ads in live stream? Yes, that came up a while ago, and I don't know why. We all like me. Thanks, Slow DK, for being a super chat super fan, buddy. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Army Building Rumble. Interesting. I got an ad on stream again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that before I go on the next time, guys. It must be one of those features that like YouTube is testing or something. Started since last week, says Joel. So yeah, I'll have to look. There gotta be something in settings or something. Welcome to the Tow Line Nation, comrade. Okay, I don't know what the deal is with Tow Line Nation, but okay. That water's really cold. It's nice. Okay, let's do the unboxing and get out of here. Bit of a weird hodgepodge, really, from Grimlock Gone and Maximal 10. So let's get to it. First things first. In the box from Grimlock Gone, there was actually a movie of Sailor Moon for Starscream Wife, and also in said box were a couple of shirts for Starscream Wife. Right, this one, right? Well, what? Well, butter my butt and call me biscuit. I like that. So that's for her. And I'm assuming both of these are for her. And what does this one say? She's like whiskey in a teacup. If you know Starscream Wife, she is like whiskey in a teacup. So those 2 shirts for her and the Sailor Moon movie for her. Then for me, for me. So some time ago, you guys might remember that I was given a Master Sword from Grimlock Gone, and the Master Sword ended up falling and sadly breaking. Well, Grimlock Gone has replaced said Master Sword, and I can tell you right now that this one feels significantly different. It's hefty, it's dense, and it's definitely closer to the correct colors. This feels denser than the last one I had, and this rectangular peg right here is how Fort Max holds it. Yeah, it's a great version of the Master Sword, man. All 3D printed, but man, really, really dense. Really impressed with that. Also in here we have, at first I didn't know what these were, but I know what they are now. This must be the treads, the extra treads for Skullgrin. Everybody complained he only had treads on the back. These are extra treads. I think they could be used on the front. So I haven't had a chance to pull Skullgrin out yet for these. But again, these are nicely designed and printed. Like you can see, maybe you can see like the detail there on the side and the peg up here, of course. This side is just, I mean, it is what it is, right? But again, there's a peg hole there. So like these can store in any number of places. I'll have to experiment with those a little bit. And then the most interesting thing. Oh, actually, before that, a number of, not usually my thing, but this is very interesting, a number of Star Trek cards, and they have a lot of like bios and stuff of the actors and whatnot on them. Not usually my thing, but interesting, and something that I'm going to probably read now over the weekend. Okay, and the last thing in this box is, I think, very interesting. So this past summer, we had the Wreckers line that came out, and each piece, or each Wrecker, or each box, whatever you want to call it, came with a piece of what went together to give us like a paper version of this like big Wrecker hammer. Well, what if we took that, and instead of having it made of the cardboard, we 3D printed the thing? Oh, baby. Now, in package, like it was off like this. But like, I don't know if it was supposed to be able to come off like that or not. But even if it wasn't supposed to be able to come off like that, like if it's supposed to be one piece, it's not a big deal because it just goes. If I can do it now. Watch me break this now. I shouldn't. Should just fit on like I had it. Yeah, right? Just fit it back on like that. This is plastic. It is hefty. So I really kind of dig this for display purposes, if for nothing else. Just going to make sure now that I got this put back accurately. Right? Is that right? There we go. There we go. Put back accurately. You can see there the Autobot, like the Wrecker logo, the base down here, like even the over here, like the Cybertronian on the side, all picked out in detail. Like this is beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I got to talk to him about some of the stuff with it, but man, this is gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. I got to say, really happy with it. But that's not it. That's not all. We're not quite done. Let's just check in with you guys here a little bit. Yes, it's supposed to come apart. Okay, good. Whew. Thank God it's supposed to come apart. Let's just go up here just a little bit. I just want to check in a couple of things here. I swear that Butter My Butt is a reference to something. Maybe it is. Yeah, you work on your plans, buddy. I was thinking of the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. Never mind. Oh, yeah, I could see that. He's dead, Jim. What? Impressions. I get ads watching videos, but never live streams. Hope it goes away for that at least, but I'm not a premium member. Yeah, I wouldn't be a premium member either. So Star Trek pie cards, yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's the Autobot Thor's hammer. Absolutely, it is. I like to think I'm worthy to hold the hammer. I try to be a good guy. The Wrecker's version of the Thor hammer. That's sweet. It is supposed to come apart. Hammer time. Okay, so then from Maximal Pen, we got two things. The first is I wasn't going to get this. I certainly would never get it or suggest somebody get it for the full asking price. However, it was on sale here for $6, and it was one of those things like $6. Yeah, why not? $6 for Studio Series Ravage, the guy that turns into nothing. But I'm interested to see how good he is in cat mode. So yeah, $6 Canadian. So what, $4 US, something like that? Yeah, he's probably worth $4, right? And the other thing is this. Do you know what these are? These are spoiler pieces for the Legacy breakdown. Now, anybody who saw my Legacy breakdown review or has been here saw that I took his spoiler and I cut it in half. But when I did so, as you can probably see here, it's not cut clean down the middle. And I said, hey, like, it's not a big deal. I'll live with it. But enter our buddy Maximal 10 with these. And you know what? Like, they feel fairly smooth. They feel nice. I'm going to do the review of these right here, right now. So we have the original. And now we have this one. As you can see, this one, the printed one, and just so we're clear here, like here they are touching each other. The printed one is a little bit darker. It is a little bit bigger, but it still feels quite smooth. And again, presumably back here where these two are, we'll put one in on that side. And we're going to take the other spoiler and we're going to put it in on this side. Let's just make sure now that we got these straightened up the way that they should be. And yeah, now the color match is close. Not perfect, but pretty darn close. And you can see the line going down right down the center, right where the legs split and stuff. That looks clean. And of course, when you go to like robot mode or whatever, I mean, again, you could just, you know, like turn them basically so that they're like up like this on the legs, right? Or if you wanted to do like I did before, you could always go down to the feet and make them like pieces of foot on the bottom. But I'm not going to pretend that I don't think that these work really, really, really well for breakdown, because they do. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice set. It's a nice set. It looks really good. Transformation, I mean, you just put them in and take them off. So one, I guess. Color, I mean, 7, 8. It's certainly close enough, I think. I don't think it would stand out if you weren't looking for it, so to speak. And articulation, I mean, they move. So like, I don't know, 10, I guess. I think that they're pretty good. I do. I think that they're really great. I mean, cutting this one, if you can do it, there's no need to get this. If you could do it cleaner than what I did it. I'm still going to keep these just in case something happens to these. I break a peg off or something. You never know, right? But as it is, I think they're going to just stay on breakdown. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. It was a bit of a weird unboxing, but that's it. And we're done. And we're going to get out of here. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you right there through spring. Or, of course, please, you can hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Don't forget to please hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. Always growing bigger and better, baby. And don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, each and every single one of you, whether you're watching it now or whether you're watching it after, whether you're close or whether you're far, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the video.